This Kelly Tripucka card is not safe for work. What's the deal with Arthur Whittington's mid-game asthma attack? Someone tell me why Keith Comstock is taking one straight in the family jewels. And heaven only knows what's going on here with David Wesley. These are just some of the strangest, funniest, and most questionable photos to ever make it onto sports cards. It really makes you wonder, what on earth were the card manufacturers and photographers thinking? But I, for one, am glad these cards made it to print, considering we now all get to share in their humor. Get ready for some laughs on this week's episode of Mint Conditions. Now, after my episode on the infamous Mark Jackson Menendez brothers card, it got me thinking, what are some other wild photos to make it onto sports cards? Well, I did some digging and found some gems. Some of these photos have stories behind them, and others will be left to our imagination. But the best part is, you probably haven't even heard of some of the guys I'm about to show you. Here are some cards that are just flat out inappropriate. The 86 Fleer set is an iconic one for many reasons, but somehow this card made the cut. I just had to blur out this Kelly Tripucka base card because my man was straight freeballing in the Pistons short shorts. 3 years later, Fleer fudged up yet again by letting this Billy Ripken F-face card get out. The classic story behind this card is pretty jokes, but you can peep episode 8 of Mint Conditions for more on that. What about Keith Comstock supergluing a baseball to his privates to make it look like he's taking a line drive to the goods? The card makes this no-name a first ballot Hall of Famer in my book. And some athletes just felt like flipping the bird for their card cameos. The Big Hurt threw up his big middle finger. Billy Martin thought he was slick with this one. We see you, Billy. And Leon Washington went all out and gave us 2 middle fingers for the price of 1 card. What about some of the weirdest and most awkward sports cards? Well, there's plenty of those out there. Here's David Wesley cuddling in a ball pit with the Hornets mascot. Maybe the most bizarre card photo choice ever? Not sure who Arthur Whittington is, but Topps really couldn't find a pic of him playing? You know you're bad when the only photo choice is you taking hits from an oxygen tank. This Jeff Reed card looks like he was punched in the stomach by his older brother. Someone get him Arthur Whittington's oxygen tank, quick. Oscar Azokar fell in love with his bat. So did Julio Franco. Meanwhile, I found Richard Hamilton's new dating profile pic. I guess it was bring your pet to work day for the Braves, and Glenn Hubbard came through with this massive snake on his shoulders. I need to know if the snake strangled him after the pic was taken. This snake definitely strangled Jake Plummer. Sticking with animals, Steve Lake posed with a parrot, Karl Malone is riding a horse, Dino Ciccarelli is feeding a rhino, and Dean McCammon is chilling on the back of a snowmobile feeding 2 deer. Like, what goes on? This Rex Hudler card seems normal until you flip it over and see him casually milking a cow. We'll wrap up the strangest cards with this Wesley Person card. I don't know whose idea this was, but you try bringing an inflated basketball underwater. It's nearly impossible. Not that I've tried it. Now for some straight up funny cards. Here's Tim Hardaway kicking Scotty directly in the Pippin. Who wouldn't want to jam out with Chuck Finley or be best friends with Steve Sparks? Before there was Anthony Davis, there was Sammy Stewart. And before there was Sammy Stewart, there was Wally Moon. I don't know how Mickey Hatcher did not win the Golden Glove Award that year. Want to see the first cell phones? Peep the cards of Cal Ripken, Brian Harper, and Brett Butler. Bill Piccata batted a lifetime .249, and his card shows it. At least he wasn't hit by a pitch like Andre Dawson. I guess Brian Hunter stole a lot of bases? I see what you did there. I'm pretty sure Al Roboski is Seth Rogen's dad. Chuck Carr always enjoys tickle time, and KG is just wrong for this one. Why you gotta do Muggsy like that? The year 2000 was one of Shaq's best seasons. Maybe use a pic of Shaq posterizing someone? No. Fleer decided to use this boring pic of Shaq on the bench with a towel on his head instead. Why? And lastly, we need to mention one of the funniest baseball cards ever printed of athletes' names to make it onto cards. Behold, Brandon Puffer and Jung Bong. There's no way having Puffer and Bong on the same card was an accident. Kudos to whoever slapped these two together. You, my friend, deserve a raise. What sport card collector out there wouldn't want to own any of these hilarious, strange, and inappropriate cards I just mentioned? After all, most of them go for just pennies. Big thanks to some of the photographers, card manufacturers, and designers who made these cards happen. We'll talk more next week on Mint Conditions.